You know you missed us, and we're back here on the 13th floor, and it's been a long time.
Welcome to where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views, they are amazing.
In case you don't know, I am Coach K, and I am here with most of the squad today. And it's been so long that we're just gonna go through and just find out how everybody's doing. So we'll start with Fresh. We're gonna go to Fresh first today.
Oh man, right out the gate, just like that.
Just like that.
First and foremost, I apologize for my ears disappearing every once in a while. I still hear what's going on. But either way, it has been quite the 13th floor hiatus for me. I think in a 30-day span, I found out I was gonna have my first child.
Boom.
I tore my Achilles.
Wow.
I had Achilles surgery.
Mm.
I lost my mother. I then my mother-in-law had kidney transplant. That didn't take too well. And then we still been rocking and rolling with Mad Harvest. So it's just been a interesting hiatus, but we still here, we still fresh and beta. Don't think that, because things been interesting, we down, we still elevated, baby.
Yeah, and we're gonna come back to a lot of that. And that was definitely, to you, it may feel like you blinked your eye and all that happened, but that definitely happened over a 90-day plus period there. Yeah. But we'll definitely come back to that. I'm gonna go to BJ.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, sir?
Surviving and thriving, man. Surviving and thriving.
Surviving and thriving. Okay. You got some pretty significant stuff that happened this summer too, but we'll come back to that. He's thinking like, what happened?
I got not for me, well, my family in general. But
yeah. That's significant stuff, man.
Yeah, well, significant for growth.
The kids growing across the pond, and
yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Real big things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, big things, man. Big things. All in high school now.
Yeah, bro. I'm an Uber driver and an Uber Eats person. I feel like that's what I do when I'm at work. But I love it. I ain't gonna lie, I love it though. So I love it. We'll talk more about that too.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it. Phase on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been, the hiatus was quiet over here. Nothing dramatic happened. Nothing out the normal BFBG lifestyle. No new kids, same wife, same house, same car.
Yeah.
It was simple, but it was a supportive summer, I'll say, of just things, and it was just good. It was just good. Very, very good, very easy. A lot of over this season, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that I learned in my professional career, and where I'm going next, and roles, and the house we got in Jersey, that debacle. Well, that could be a whole episode in itself, by what I found there and some of the images I saw when the tenants moved out. But yeah, it was all in all, it wasn't that bad. Wasn't a bad break. I love summer. Birthday was in June. We missed that, but it was still cool. So yeah, it was nice.
2 birthdays in June.
Yeah.
You and Fresh. And I will say summer for me, it didn't seem like it was quick, because it seemed like so much happened. And not necessarily just for me, but it seemed like so much was going around for everybody, that it made it seem longer than it actually was. And then, similar to you, I think I have some professional and just personal things that I have realized that I've undertaken. But we'll get more into that in the next segment here about our key learnings from the summer. But we definitely missed you all.
Yeah.
And, hopefully you all have been checking every week to see if we posted, and if there was an episode to drop. Well, ta-da, here it is. You got it this week, and we're happy to be back. So let's get into the key learnings, and I'm curious to see, and Fresh, I feel like out of all of us, you've probably had the most life impacting things happen. So, let's start with you. It looks good. Whatever you're saying looks really good, but I think you might have muted yourself or something.
I said awesome first again.
Right.
But either way, I think the biggest thing is just you're still waking up tomorrow, and that things will get very interesting. You can have total shifts in what you thought was your perceived reality that then put you in a situation you never knew if you had the strength to handle. But at the end of the day, you still have to wake up. That next day is still coming. There's still other people who depend on you. You definitely find out where your real ones are in those situations, but at the same time, you also find out that you can shoulder a lot more than you anticipated.
Yeah, that's so obviously the passing of a parent, the passing of a mom, could be super impactful when you look at the matriarch of the family, and no matter what the family dynamic was, you definitely feel that impact. And I think we all got to see that because we all got a piece of, Mama Kim kind of playing matriarch to all of us at some point when we were all in school, and we got to feel that. And it's one of those things that I think, fellas, if it's all right with y'all, I think we dedicate this next season to Mama Kim.
Yeah, for sure.
She was definitely one of our biggest fans and pushing for us. And, if she could have been out there picketing at somebody's television station to get us on TV, she would have.
100%.
100%. So we definitely gonna make this season pop for Mama Kim, and for those of you loyal listeners that are out there. Yeah, man, that's big, man. And I don't know how much else you're prepared to talk about. So I would give you a break, because I know normally if you wanted to talk about it, you would have just kept going and you would have done so.
I'm wide open. I have no I'm here with all my good friends. We got our audience here. I'm wide open. I have no issues talking about anything.
Okay, well, good, man. So then congratulations on first child on the way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was
Fresh got a
waiting.
baby coming.
I was waiting for you to say no, not that. Like, we can talk about everything but that.
Yes, I am excited. Gonna have my first child. Zuri Diane is being baked in the oven right now. Talk to her all the time.
That's awesome
Nice.
stuff.
Nice. Are you playing her music yet?
I haven't started putting any headphones on, because we're just 20 weeks now. And so she's just getting to where she's really, moving around and really developed enough to be able to really have some recognition. But I already been talking to Amani about how I'm about to get those speakers going and get her on the right track.
Nice.
I expect nothing less.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Baby gonna come out dancing. Come out with a bop.
We still spin. I got 2 gigs this weekend. We going from a beer drop to a Haitian wedding, and I don't even know or understand what I'm about to do with this Haitian wedding, but we here, baby.
I can't wait to hear the mix.
You know what time it is.
Nice.
This is gonna be the best time of y'all. This is gonna be these next months. Awesome. I can't express, and anybody who's a dad, the process from that point forward, from learning all the way until birth, you are be in nesting mode and getting things together, but you turn into that like defender of all things and sit down. Hey, I told you, you can't get up. Stop eating the salt. Look at like, remember, all those things are going to happen, and you're about to be extreme dad. So I already know how you get. When
you know what though, man? I'm already I was teaching Bryson today some he's in 1st grade now, so we were going over the short A sounds, and in there just trying to teach him stuff and just getting him to think of referencing, look, we just said the same word 300 times.
Yes.
If I'm pointing at the same word It has the same 2 letters at the end. At least work with me on making that sound. Let's start there.
Yes. Make one of the sounds related to A.
Right.
Period. I'm just saying.
Not L, not U.
Oh my goodness.
Not something else random. We're talking about this same word with the letter that we have been practicing.
Have me pulling out my beard hairs. Like, I mean, it's just like, what letter is this?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What letter is this? And just to bobble it and weave it around. All of a sudden, the tears about to come. It's just like, what are we?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
There's no crying in baseball. What
right. How did we get
like,
here?
What
is wrong
doing?
with you?
I'm
hungry.
Hey,
hungry.
Hungry.
You just ate.
Like, what are we talking about now? But yes, either way, I fought the good fight. We got through can, ran, tan, sand, and all of those good and words.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man. I know once my official seat is here, things will turn up, the juice will get loose. But either way,
it's gonna be a little different.
A lot different. I know it's gonna be a lot different
because you're about to have a girl.
Yeah.
So
well, I've had a lot of girl practice as well. But the difference
is this is different. This is from
yours.
your loin.
This is yours.
Yeah, well, again, I still had a lot of girl practice as well. And the difference is that I've been able to have to craft my non-old school ways. So corporal punishment is not, you know what I mean, as readily available to me as a normal parent. So I've had to learn over the years to become more of a wordsmith for the younger generation in order to still get my message to penetrate without having to use these hands.
Yeah. Yeah. You always do the phase-on method.
Well, the best thing, one of the best things I inherited from my father is the daddy stare. So I'm really good, and I mean I've been doing a little moonlight and doing a little substitute teaching here and there, and I mean even the classroom that thing works out where I mean I'll cut through a room just like just that look of disapproval. It can just shatter someone's craftiness real quick.
You need somebody to come show up there and just look like your uncle, just posted up waiting for something to go down.
Play with a shouts to Uncle Robert.
Yeah, man. Uncle Robert was in there looking like modern day DRS.
Yep.
Gangsterly.
And then broke down that song like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. Absolutely.
I only saw a stage presence, so I can't imagine what's happening off stage, but I was just like, oh wow.
I want to say my Uncle Robert is a product of my father, and y'all have all met my father and understand his presence and how he gets down. So please believe my Uncle Robert did a lot of trying to show out for my father. So he is definitely a boosted and juiced version.
There you go.
Oh, but I definitely want to shout out all the 13th floor crew, all Players Oasis held me down with a lot of stuff over that time that I definitely appreciate, man.
Oh, for sure. That's what we do.
Damn, man, that's what we do.
Absolutely. And I'm not gonna give them any type of publicity, marketing, anyway. We might invest in a business and we might buy out a funeral home that deserves to be bought out. And faced with different management.
We definitely make that happen. We got the expertise, so it doesn't matter.
Yep, absolutely. I'm not going to be there, but we'll figure it out. BJ, man, your turn, man. I'm gonna let you jump up to this, learnings over these last 90 plus days that we've been out.
I guess the first one I'm gonna add on to what the first was just saying, because again, this season, I'm gonna call it this season of life, has seen much sickness and much death in this circle and just in my circle in general. My circle is really not that big. I know a lot of people, but the circle is not that big. And the sickness and death has been a major player the last 3-4 months. And it takes a toll on you personally. when you're trying to be there for everybody else. But I can say the beauty is that you are able to be there for everybody else, right? Because there's a lot of people who aren't here because of that, right? Or don't have the time, like first, like stuff like, look, I'm off. What do we need to do? I'm taking off. What do we need to do? Like, I didn't have that luxury of doing that a year or two ago. Like now it's like, I may make a call, I'm gonna send an email. Like, no, I got something to handle. I'll get back with y'all later on. And we're gonna make something, I gotta go make something else happen. So one of the lessons is count your blessings, because there's a lot of things that happen in life and they happen for a reason. You may not know it right then and there, but later on down the line, when things are shown to you, like you have the time, you have the resources, you have the ability to do some stuff and make moves that you really didn't have just a year ago, 6 months ago, right? So those are blessings in disguise. Other than that, man, it's just been a blessing to see my kids. Like, they astound me every time they do something. Like, yeah, I have my frustration time, but they do some great things. They're just good people, right? And I say that as a dad, but they're just good people, right? So last year coming out of COVID, back our church normally goes on mission trips, youth mission trips. So they go all over the world, right? But last couple of years, because of COVID, that had been shut down. So we got word back in late December, early January, there was going to be one trip this year, and they were going to London. It's a mission trip, and really didn't know the scope of what they were going to do or who they're going to be interacting with, but they knew they were going to London. So fast forward, so Mason, being in high school, he was invited to go. Well, there weren't enough high schoolers that qualified to go because there's certain qualifications you got to meet. You have to be serving in a ministry. You have to you can't just show up. They have to be doing something, right? Learning and growing. So it wasn't a high schoolers. So the twins were asked to go as well because of the work they've already been doing and the relationships they have already. So all three got to go on their first mission trip together, which for us was a blessing. First, so all together. Two, for my sanity, because Gina was already going to trip out. Mason was going somewhere by himself. And then if they were going to different places, and normally siblings don't go to the same place.
Oh,
they split siblings up to give them that independence. Like, so I'm not dependent on my brother, my sister for everything I do. I start learning some independence. But I think for everybody, this being their first trip together made a huge difference, a huge impact. So they went to London. They were there for 15 days. They were gone for a total of 18 days. First 2 days were like training, but they traveled total for like 15, 16 days. And you just saw a difference when they returned. Like, what did they do? So it wasn't like when the people go on a mission trip, they're not out in the bush and come out, like literally, they were in London. They ran a kids club, more like a vacation Bible school for a church who did not have a youth group at all. They don't really have youth leaders. So at them coming out of 8th grade, going to high school, and Mason moving up to his junior year, I say he moved up to his junior year, Jesus. They were actually conducting a vacation Bible school kids club for youth over there in London, right? At a site. And to the point where they were out in the community during the day, like, where all these new people come from, these Americans come from. Like, kids would just see them out, and kids was like, Mom, I want to go see what they're doing tonight. And they drew kids from the community just because of their presence. They were playing with kids. I mean, they got technology nowadays. They got numbers for kids, numbers for kids, communication from kids over in London. Like, they're starting to make contacts across the pond, you say. It is really.
I see the slang, you London bloke.
Right, exactly.
They're maturing in their own way, right? And they each came back with a different takeaway, though. It wasn't like they all had this epiphany about whatever it is. Like, they each had their own time where we sat down and discussed one-on-one with them, Gina and I, about like what they take away, what their biggest takeaways were. And they're very reflective on what they did, right? So for me, it really is just seeing them mature. And again, is this something they're going to do every year? They have the opportunity, but they have to choose. I would never just send them over there, right? They have to choose to go. But we made a commitment if they choose to go, that, again, just like when we went to Alaska, the trip ain't free. And we sent all three of them. We were blessed to have some resources from outside help us out. But again, it's giving them opportunity and experiences. They beat me across the pond. Like I've never been over there myself. Like, but giving them opportunities to experience stuff that I never did, that's what I'm working for. That's what I'm living for. So yeah, a lot more work to do. I'm excited about the opportunity. Like one this year, I think one opportunity may be to Peru. I think one is going back. One to Peru is on the fence. I think London again, and there's a third site they're looking at. So we should have confirmation in the next month or two, like what the sites are and who may be going to what site. So I'm just excited for them to experience the world, man. Because like I told them, everything that was going on here in the States, like get out and see the world.
Yeah,
It's
not expense, it's experience. If you don't give them that opportunity and take advantage of that opportunity yourself. Nothing changed me like going to Haiti. Like you don't understand until you experience something. You can see pictures and videos and all that kind of stuff, but when you really go and experience how people live in different areas, it changes you, and it helps you value things that you in a sense took for granted.
I think you have to do it consistently. Wherever you're going to do, you're traveling, that mindset of going somewhere else and then seeing how people live and how people work with what they have consistently over time. So it can't be a once a year trip. You got to have that like every couple of months to keep yourself grounded, because you come back wherever it is and you're like completely, oh, I don't need this stuff. I can do whatever I got to do. And that tends to fade over some time, but re-engaging that and going somewhere else gets that click going. And just that was a big deal, and it does make a difference when you're going somewhere. You're not just on the resort, but you actually get off and do things, or you're not just going to the club or a party, but actually to do something for somebody else. Big things.
I think it definitely helps increase perspective. It changes the channel that you're kind of tuned into, and the programming that you're getting. Once you move someplace else or go visit someplace else, that programming kind of changes.
Your scope changes, right? Like,
and I think there's also an important piece to understand, not just your place in the world. And when I say your place, I don't mean in a make you smaller type feeling. But understanding your ability and helping form who you are.
So that was it. Like, so I'll share Madison's takeaway, because she know I've shared it publicly before. Like, I had to sit with what she shared that night and like really take it in, because her biggest takeaway was that people were just so appreciative that they were there. As kids, as youth. I mean, I'm saying kids, as youth. That how many other parents just saw them and found out why they were there and thanked them for coming, and just thanked them for being a presence around the youth that were there already. Like, that was her biggest takeaway. She's like, well, we just went to go serve, and like that's what we were supposed to do, right? Like, not having the context about anything. Again, context for me, I have no idea what was going on in that community, what was going on.
Right.
Around. I don't know if this is the first thing since everybody had been locked. And London was under different COVID protocols anyway, so they were a lot more stricter with stuff and lockdown. So I don't know what it was, but for her, it drove to a point of emotional. Like when she's talking about it, like to have somebody, one of those mother, like pull her aside and said, "Thank you all for coming. Like we really appreciate you being there." Like it has been checking up on her. Like we coming to mind, we're coming to find you. We're gonna come see where you guys are at and come visit you. Like that for her was like, wow, there are people out there that really care about the stuff that we're doing. I'm doing this stuff because I want to, but people really do care, and it's making a difference in people's lives.
I think she found even more worth, because she has amazing worth. You teach her that, you teach her that, but that being out there and showing that my time, my presence means something to somebody else, coming back here now, there's nothing anyone can say that she's gonna be like, no, I matter. Like me being here, me being my energy, my communication, my message matters, and it may be too big for you, who are. I'm now worldwide.
Amen. I got a passport stamp to prove it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to get them passports, like
Yeah.
that in itself. Like, not that other kids don't have passports, but I didn't get a passport till
I was in college.
you still beat me. I got mine like 3-4 years ago.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
That's good though, man. Listen, that's what
When we went to Jamaica. That was the first time I used my passport. So that's about 5 years ago now.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
For Banks' funeral. That's the first time I used my passport.
Jeez.
It's we do what we do for the next generation. So everything we see, everything we push for and strive to get better for them is to help them. I mean, in the end of the day, you're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for yourself to show that they have this option. They have more options than we have. And that's the path supposed to take. It's supposed to get better.
You know what? So somebody jotted down when we improve. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. We're going to find the means, and there's probably some grants or something out there we can get. But what I would love to do is I would love to take the 13th floor and we have a passports over mugshots program. So if we're going to line you up to have you take a picture, it's going to be to take you across the way, take you someplace else. And somebody probably shrieked when I said that, or was like, oh my gosh, that's
awesome. No, man, that's perfect. And I was quiet because I was writing it down. So my reaction didn't come until after I actually hit enter. But no, that is a great goal.
That's a legitimate program to start, like to fund.
Yeah.
Get to draw behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at y'all. I love when I tell these guys something and it catches on with them and you can see their brains going to work.
Already. I'm like,
I got funders in there. Like
I can do it. I can call my neighbors. They got people already.
All right. Faisal, let's go to you, man. And you know, as you being the closest person that lives to me, I mean, obviously we all, you know, participated in and were a part of, you know, what Ian had and has going on.
Mm-hmm.
But for what you have going on, you know, I've been here to witness some of it. So yeah, man, the mic is yours. Let's talk about your learnings this summer.
Shoot. Well, okay, first thing I start with my brother-in-law getting engaged. That was a big deal because he's old and we didn't think he would. So
Whoa,
that was cool.
I need you to back up, man.
In a good way, not a bad way.
I'm older than him.
You are, but you're already married. You don't get the pressures of having to be the first son to get married and have their kid and then hold the legacy up. It's a lot of pressure. So that was a really big move for him. So shout out to Obi. If you're listening to this, he was on the podcast time ago. So shout out to him. He's gotten his he's I think right now over in London right now with his fiance, soon to be wife. That's big. I'm trying to think what else was big today. I think this was a really quiet summer, more quiet than normal for me. I had a lot of just general learning. You guys all know I applied for the director role for my position that was open for me. My boss had left, went to a new company, came back. I applied for it, didn't get it. Got some reasons why I didn't get it, but I didn't think it was still valid enough for me. Met my new supervisor, good guy.
Hold on one second. Message some of y'all Jamba Juice folks actually listen to the podcast. Message.
Oh no, they all know.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've told myself I'm no longer being a hole in the wall. I've been vocal 100%.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, I've been vocal 100% about everything. And okay, cool. If I need this training, where is it? What do I need to do? Okay, cool. How are you paying for that? How am I paying for that? What's the plan of action? Where are we going to go with this? So and then also the whole thing of like, all right, well, if my worth is this, I'll give you that. And if it's not that, then okay, cool. I'll adjust and go somewhere else, do something else for it. But right now everything is good. My new boss is a good guy, been around for a while at the company. A lot to learn from him. So I'm learning and taking. And EJ made it clear to me that there are things that happen for a reason. And those things that happen, you pull what you can and you pull what you need to for the next steps. So I was like, don't take it as a step backwards. Take it as a cool, well, there's a reason why you're here. I'm going to pull everything I can out of you. And then I'll take that and put it in my bag of tricks to go on wherever it need to be. So yeah, that was the summer. Then COVID had its run on rental properties and the renters, and my renters were great all the way until probably March. No, maybe like February, March. And then all of a sudden it was we'll wait till the government pays the rent. So 2 months go by, 3 months go by, nothing. Then a check comes in from good old Prezzo, drops that federal check over. Cool, great. And then it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months again passes by. And then all of a sudden the program is done. Go back to work. It's over. So now all that back payment is missing. You have to now go to court to get them evicted. Courts were finally opened up in June. So now you're on a wait list for 2 months or so to get anyone out of the property. New Jersey is not landlord friendly at all. It's one of the states that still is, and like New York too, one of the states that are heavily for the resident. So even though they aren't paying their rents, you still got to go through the full process of taking them to court, doing the process, sending the summons, getting things signed off. They got to sign their part, 14 days here, 14 days here. In the meantime, that's months and months added onto the process. So fast forward finally to getting the injunction. They are now being locked out of property. That is a 5-day process, which confused me because if you're locked out of the property, how do you get 5 days to be locked out of a property? So
they probably do some scheduling, like, oh, you're locked out now, you can come back
exactly, come back and get your stuff, so forth. So of course, these people decide to the locks are changed. They gave the 5 days, say, okay, by Sunday, give us, you got to get out of there, no problem. Sunday comes, they didn't come back. My property manager starts to go through, lock the doors, change locks. These guys break into the back window to get their stuff out of there finally, because I guess now is the 6th day. I went in now, it's a Monday or Tuesday. So they're going in there getting stuff. We finally have the crew go over there, like, with them. My dad's down in Jersey, so he's there. He's the ex-cop, so he's like, all right, cool, I'll go over there, no problem. So he's flashing where he needs to flash. Things get a little easier, and then they're like packing stuff up. If I tell you, this place looked like an episode of Hoarders, but junior hoarders. There was stuff everywhere. Probably at least, if I count it right now, it's $16,000 in like damages and getting it all fixed up and everything else for the process. Somebody
on top
moved
of rent.
On
top of rent.
Oh, on top of the mortgage that wasn't being paid. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So the weird thing is that someone, and I'm gonna send pictures. So we're gonna put some stuff on 13th floor. I got shots of some stuff that's just like, how, why? But we'll just drop some random stuff from the the move out. But there was the refrigerator was moved to the middle of the floor in the kitchen. No idea why. Just in the middle of the floor, one refrigerator was molded completely, like they didn't use the food at all in there. The basements was crazy. The pictures that they drew in the garage of all the graffiti they written there, I'm like, this is crazy. Someone broke the cap electricity outside to, I guess, try to steal power somewhere else and run power, so it had to be fixed. It was just a lot. And I still think, saying all that, I made out good compared to people who are still struggling and people who have walked into their places and there are holes in the walls and they pull the pipes out and all these things. So I still say that I kind of got a little bit of blessing out of that. I learned a lesson. This was an unfortunate thing that happened. They were fine. They would have been moved out eventually, but COVID hit and then it became more of a concern for it. So round 2 started up now. Property's all cleaned up, looking good, and we're ready to rinse it out now. So we're going through a process, but it was a crazy, that part of time was insane. Other than that, it's pretty straight.
Man, I thought you were gonna take me to someplace totally different, but you didn't. So we're gonna let it go
Okay.
at this point. But
A lot, because I live, and hope people who are listening do this. Every day is a new day. I rarely ever hold on to things that are behind me too far because it's just gone. So it's like
what I'm talking about ain't behind you at all.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is on your back. It's around your throat. We got to see these young men over the summer. We started to see the early stages of them becoming men.
Oh, these little,
and wanting to do their own thing and start to kind of push a little bit to see how far they can go.
Oh yeah, you want that back real quick. You gotta definitely show the captain mentality. And I would say alpha, but I can't say that. So the captain mentality of that, the stature of making sure that they know who's the boss of the house. But yeah, no, they're 5 and 6 year old boys. They're gonna try and see what they can do and push their levels. And you gotta have a cool head. Can't go with the head all the time. But there are times when they did some good old calisthenics to practice, understand that they can't do these things. But listen, we're going to have many more stories of these young men, all 3 of them, because Ashley's are including the group.
Oh yeah,
growing
absolutely.
up together,
absolutely,
and doing stupid things and being sneaky and also being fun and all that's going to happen. So I know it's going to come, but I'm just trying to hold them in and keep them kids as long as possible, so they can make mistakes and have fun. But it's a realm they got to stay in, but they also can't be older than they are where they are.
Listen, man, I have found that the most shock and awe thing that I can do to Asher at this point is when I start coming up to him very quickly, and then I drop to my knees and slide into his face. Like, what are you doing? What? Like, he's just like,
yeah. Because you know what? That's right though, because when you come down to their level, and I've done it all the time, I'll get down, I'll sit down and look eye to eye and go, I want you to hear me. Because that the level of looking up is like, okay, yeah, you're my dad. But when you come down to that view, that's a whole nother, you're down here. That's
one of those, like, again, because I've had to master the no hands techniques. That is one of the techniques right there. You got to get that in. It ain't about being loud. I'm going to be nice and quiet because I need you to listen and focus, because things can go crazy. All that stuff that you like, I'll take it all away, Jack. I ain't got no problem. And get on that level, that's all of a sudden when things start to get real. And look, I could be your best friend, or I could be your worst enemy. It's up for you to make that choice. But I'll let you know, I am an amazing enemy. Like, I mean, I'm an amazing, like, the things that I will do to you, you will, it won't be fun. But again, it's your choice. Enjoy yourself.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, how long we been on this thing, man?
About 38 minutes. Good time.
38 minutes. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool. There's time for me. So, learnings, man. So what I would say is, and I don't care. I've started going to a therapist. So it's my first time where I'm actually going to, on my own, reconnaissance and choice. I'm going to go to a therapist and let's just talk. And I think for me, the learnings have been, man, I've been just playing small in multiple arenas. And you know what? That's done. Like,
How many sessions?
Oh, I've been going for like a month and a half now.
Yep, that's about right. About six sessions when you click, it clicks. In anything.
Man, my clicked on day one. And like she's good. But to be able to see that and for her to say things and me be like, man, I think I wrote that in one of those black books that I have on my bookshelf like 3-4 years ago, right? So to be aware of yourself, but somehow compartmentalize that part that is 100% you, and it's a voice that's there, but you just kind of moving along through your life. And I think about everything we just talked about, from death to government programs, people not having access. And I just want us to realize that we got a preview of this the last 2 years. Everything that we saw when COVID kicked off is what's about to happen again.
Oh, yeah.
For a different reason, right? And people are talking about recession, and I've been sitting there looking at recession saying to myself, you know what? We ain't even going to acknowledge this recession. We're going to say recess is in, because this is the time to come out and play and show what we learned going through COVID. There's nothing else. Think about how many people lost their job, didn't know where money was coming from. We're about to go through the same thing again. People are going to be stressed. People are going to pass away. All these things are going to happen. And I realized, you know what? This is the moment. This is the moment where I just have to be who I am, because not only is it going to benefit me, but it's going to benefit so many other people that maybe don't realize that this is not the worst thing that could happen to you. It actually could be the best thing that ever happened to you. Mm-hmm. And, for all of us, it's just timely that we're coming back at this moment, because we're coming back and other people are going away for various reasons, right? So it's timely. And I think for me, the key learning is you have to find a way to root yourself into that truest part of your voice, and move forward. Because there is and people have heard me say this before, but it's a little bit different now, because I realize I've been telling and asking people to do things that I'm not doing for myself. And we wonder why, okay, well, I wonder why can't I be consistent? Why can't I push forward? And it's because it's hard to be consistent pushing a message through that you're not consistently living yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you're not willing to face yourself and say, look, this is who I really am. These are the things in the way. And once you acknowledge this is who you are, and these are the things in your way, you put yourself in a position of power to now move those things out the way. And these are the learnings that I've had. And I realize in that, because I haven't truly been who I am and living up to my stature and my size, right? Not talking about anything physical, mm-hmm. Right? I can't access my true voice. Yep. I'm working with the skill set of the person that I've created. Mm-hmm. And now that person has said, hey, we've had enough. We need to let's go get some help. And there are people that never get to that point of let's go get some help. They end up moving on from this lifetime as somebody totally different. Mm-hmm. Never really being who they were. So those are my learnings, and there's more to come on that, but I think it was an interesting summer, with all that heat and everything. I think there's some things that kind of melted away that gave me the sense of, man, what am I doing? Excuse me. I'm not getting choked up. I actually just I don't know what happened to my voice right now.
The truth comes out.
It's the person that I've created kind of holding on like, no, man, exactly. You ain't gonna do that. We're gonna choke you up. But yeah, there's more to come on that. And it's my personal goal and mission to make sure not only for myself, but for the people on this podcast, that we're going to be exactly who we know we are. And we're not going to let anybody on here be less than who they actually are. And we know, because we've seen each other with nothing, with absolutely nothing, but just the shirts on our backs and who we are. And okay, maybe we had 3 or 4 different shirts, but that's besides the point. And I think we owe it to our audience to make sure that they feel not only awareness of who they are, but empowered to be who they are. And then just let the rest work itself out. If you think about it, you can't line up anything in your life truly the way that it should be unless you're aligned with who you are and you embrace that. And I'll jump off the soapbox.
Is that your wrap up as well?
Be a good season. Be a good. This is going to be a good season. We got a lot to talk about. Listen, we're going to go through a journey, another baby journey. We had Sunny last season, right? Yeah. A season and a half ago.
Yeah.
Man, this is about the Zuri's coming through. It's gonna be crazy.
Yep, storming through.
Then we got, we're gonna go through the journey of you finding yourself and pushing us to be better. We're gonna go through the development of myself and my executive coaching that I'm learning and teachings I'm getting from that. We're gonna dig into
a slumlord.
Right. Nah, that's the one thing I said I would never do. And I stand by that. I would not. There's no one. The funny thing is that I know we're wrapping up, but the funny thing is that rents have increased so much across areas that I could have been like, I'm making all that money back tomorrow. But I'm seeing long picture and the market rate is, let's say $1,800. I'm like, realistically, it's probably $1,650. Like, let's not be greedy. Time will play itself out over time because everyone going for that big number is going to get it for a year. And what happens after that year? You're going back in and fixing it up. So lessons that I hope to teach that I've done through the process about what I've learned again. We did a couple of years ago about the building out. Now we're going to learn about the re-up, like they say on the pink, the re grand opening of it. And it's going to be a good season. It's going to be a season of lots of learnings, lots of sharings. Some amazing guests will be on here. Trying to pull through some big names that we can try to grab on here. Production value is going to be increased. Awareness is going to be pushed up. Y'all going to see us everywhere. So welcome back to the 13th floor. Get ready for the ride of your life.
And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you all next time. We
still got Fresh Ovation up in this building.
Oh, my bad, man. My bad.
I'm just skirt past my segment. It's okay. We still here.
But so many opportunities for you to drop Fresh Ovation. But you know what, man? You absolutely right, man. Go ahead, man.
I wanted to spice it up at the end, considering the fact that, you made me go first, but then you didn't give that, Coach K wrap up. So I said, let me go ahead and throw some juice.
Yeah. Throw the juice,
on
man.
in that, on into that. But I
Let
mean,
the juice loose.
This is definitely something that I've probably talked about in the Fresh Ovations if you go ahead and rewind from episodes past. But 2 things that definitely resonated in conversation, especially both from BJ and Art. 1, count your wins, not your losses. 2, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And so as long as you are learning something from that quote unquote loss, it really isn't a loss. It's just a chance for you to have a better insight on how you're moving forward. Take those 2 things and yeah, man, push forward. It's Fresh Ovation, the one and only, baby. Fuego Fresco.
And that was serious. It really is the end of this episode. So, hey, we appreciate y'all. Welcome back. And we're glad to be back. And we will see you all. Oh, that's very important. Our new show schedule will now be every other week. So when you listen to this, don't feel bad the next week when you don't see us. It's by design. We will now be every other week.
It just gives you more time to tell more friends, absorb
Yep.
more of the information, engage with us a little bit more. And so that
Yep.
then when we come back, we've got this community effect just growing and matriculating and becoming virally exactly what it should be up here on the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but their views, baby, they are amazing.
That's it for now, folks.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're done here on the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are
Amazing.